Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm my husband, Glen.
He's my husband, Glen.
Why you eating your gummy bears?
I'm sorry.
Before we get started,
I wasn't finished yet.
Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so we don't miss any of our reviews. We're reviewing tonight Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode number 1. We're back. Married at First Sight is back, and we're excited about the season of Married at First Sight in San Diego, California.
I don't know if I can say I'm excited about the season.
I am. New couples.
I don't know.
New couples, new people, and new things to talk about. Can I get a high five?
I'm not giving you a high five. I think it's corny, and if you high five me one more time...
Oh, I'll try. I try to stop. Nah, if you saw Married at First Sight, you know what we're talking about. But we got 5 couples, 5 new couples that wanted to get married, 10 new people for the season of Married at First Sight, San Diego, California. Where do you want to start at?
We do it. We'll start where they started. Lindy and Miguel.
Miguel.
Okay. Miguel is 35.
Yep.
Lindy is 29. And Miguel is our resident Dungeons and Dragon expert.
As well as a former scientist who writes medical books and medical stuff. So, very intelligent guy, smart guy.
Very much so.
But he's not married. And he's looking for someone that he can spend the rest of his life with. And hopefully play Dungeons and Dragons with. And
he's not a very good poet, and I'm so sad he doesn't know it.
He's not a good poet. We talk about that a little bit later because he gave a poem, his best poem, when all the men met up, and he got crickets. It was bad. And then Married at First Sight didn't help none because they tried to add a rap beat to it, and it did not work out.
But on the intro to the couples episode 2, he gave Pastor Cal one of his poems, and Pastor Cal was like, okay. I was like, he's being so nice.
He's being so nice. Didn't work out.
That's not it.
It's not it. Nope, not it.
It's not it at all. But anyway, Miss Lindy, like we said, she's 29. And she told us how she grew up Seventh-day Adventist.
Yes.
Very sheltered. Coming from a religious background, you know, obviously her family felt that, you know, life should go a certain way. And so when she was like, when I got out of the church, I just kept running.
She kept running.
I ran the other way.
She went the other direction. All the rules, and well, not except all the rules. Some things that she was taught, she dropped. She didn't wait till she got married or wait until she get married to have sex.
Not only that, she said when she did have sex, she had a series of one-night stands. And, I mean,
hey, each his own. Whatever floats her boat. She wanted to make sure she was far away from... I'm not here to judge.
I mean, to a certain extent, because then we'll see later when she goes to the bachelorette party with the bridal party with the women, she was kind of like...
She was awkward. She'd never been to any parties or any social gatherings. She didn't know how to dance. She did the robot. I mean, she was just... Again, she's socially awkward, and she married as right now, a sensitive man. You know, we saw that he said he was sensitive, and so she wanted somebody to be kind of stern.
Yeah, she said she didn't want a guy with a passive personality.
Yeah.
She wants somebody who can be assertive. And Miguel shared with the guys he's overly sensitive. And I can sweat the small stuff, and sometimes he overthinks, and yeah.
Reminded me of Jose from Houston season. Just a little bit. Just a little bit reminded me of Jose. I know some of you guys are thinking some things too, but he reminded me of Jose a little bit. I'm just leaving it like that.
All right.
Not much
else.
Not much else about it. Not much else, and look, not much else at all.
So next we meet Justin and Alexis. And Justin is 33. Alexis is 29.
Yes, Justin is 6'8".
Oh, what I wanted to add was for Lindy and Miguel. He told his Dungeons and Dragons friends, and they were kind of like on the fence, like, I don't know, this is kind of different. But her friends seemed pretty like, okay, well,
they was down with it. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody knew they was in a process, so her friends were like, okay, that's what you want to do. His friends were more leery, like, is that sure you want something that you want to do?
So I said that to say, when we go to Justin and Alexis, we know Justin is the 6'8"
Piece of meat, as he called himself.
He said women, I don't know. I just felt, he was like, women look at me like I'm just a piece of meat. They want to know what I'm packing. And I was like, bro, I promise you, I would never have asked that. Like, who cares? Because you 6'8".
He's real confident in himself. He's real confident in himself. He's real confident in what he's packing at 6'8". I'm just saying. And so women may see him wear sweatpants all the time.
It's a setup. Gray.
He might be wearing gray. He might be wearing gray sweatpants all the time.
That's a setup. Don't fall for that. Because he's 6'8", you think that man.
I'm
you get your feelings hurt.
I'm just saying what he was saying.
I know, but
he was saying that
when he was saying that, I was just like,
we know, but also at that, Justin has committed that he's celibate. That
yes,
he has been celibate for over a year. Justin has been not married, but he was engaged. He was engaged in a month before the wedding. Mm-hmm. A month before the wedding, they decided to cut it off.
And basically, he said because she wanted a man that was like in his 40s, 50s, meaning maturity level, established in his career, that type of thing. And I wasn't that. And he shared later with Alexis that I'm at that point now. Mm-hmm. Basically, but if she had just waited through the process, we would have got there. But she wanted it then.
She wanted it now.
So that's why they broke up. And that was one thing that he talked to his brother, because he talked to his brother. Which, listen, I'm just going to say it. Mm-hmm. So, his brother, Donnell, mm-hmm. he shared with his brother, Donnell. He said, Donnell was like a father figure to him. He kind of, helped raise him. And I'm looking at 6'8".
Donnell about
5'6", 5'7". Tall and lanky. Short and dumpy. Dark skin. Brown skin. The nose is looking... I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. To me, somebody's adopted. Somebody's adopted. I'm like, y'all cannot be full-blooded brothers. There's no way. There's no way.
It can happen.
Not when later on we see the mama. The mama looks like Donnell. We see the uncle. The uncle looks like Donnell.
But they said the uncle was in a wheelchair. He was 6'11".
Right? I ain't saying that's not his mama.
Oh, okay. You saying they got different... Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They do not have the same parents.
Got you. I give you that. That's a brother.
Both the same parents. But anyway...
Donnell gave him the business, though.
Oh, Donnell was like, you ain't ready. Not feeling it. He was like, well, I was at a place where I could get married before, and Donnell was like, yeah, but I ain't saying you was ready then. Like, he was not feeling it. And his wife didn't either. Not as much as him.
But you need somebody like that. You need family members to be like, you know what, if you're going to take the advice, this ain't for you. Sometimes family members see things that you don't see from the outside. Now, granted, they don't know Alexis, right? And they don't know her from, can of paint, whatever the case may be. And that's the difference. In this situation, you don't know the woman. Mm-hmm. And his past relationships, they knew the young lady. They knew that there was some issues and some problems going on. They knew some situations, and they didn't see it. But also, Donnell talked about his maturity level. Like, I don't think you're mature enough to handle this right now. You're growing, you're getting there, but I don't think you're there yet. And they had a little tiff. I mean, Donnell left the bachelor party.
Yeah,
he basically kind of kicked him out. Like, yo, you got to go.
Well, because Donnell told him he was acting like a little B.
Yeah, dog.
He did say that, and they really did, like, in the bachelor party, which I'm going to say this right now. It was awfully lit. And I mean literally lit, like with lights. It would be a bachelor party with strippers. And meanwhile, you go to the ladies' party and it's colored lights and it's dim. I was like, where are they at? And they was playing cornhole. But anyway.
It was in a brewery with nice lights. They wanted to see what they was dancing. I don't know. No. Maybe TV production wanted you to see the redhead girl that was dancing.
I don't know. But yeah, so Justin and his brother got into it. And, to the point where other people noticed. And they did say they made up later. But anyway, Donnell's thing is, with the failed engagement, I just don't want my brother to get hurt. And like you said, we don't know this person. Yeah. We don't know what she's coming in with, so... But,
you don't know, again, he's more concerned, and what your big brother should be, I don't want him hurt, because we know last time, what you went through. And we are not privy to that, but last time you were distraught, you was distressed, you had
Oh yeah, he said he went through
you
it.
went through, you were depressed, and his brother's like, I don't want to see that again. And this was with somebody that you knew, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was somebody that you had built a relationship with, somebody that you had, involvement, that you dated and that you've seen. Not somebody that you don't know.
Right.
Somebody you have not seen, somebody you know nothing about her, and you think this is gonna work 8-week process. His brother's like, look, man, this should be for a lifetime. Which, you take it, his brother is married, so we know that he's been through the married life and he knows what it takes to maintain marriage and be married. So.
So on the flip side, we see Justin talk to his brother. We see Alexis talk to her 3 male friends.
Yeah, her boys.
Yeah, and she talked about how they're so very overprotective of her, and she basically told them that she was getting married at first sight in 2 weeks by taking one thing off her head and putting her little veil.
They put a little veil on.
And they were like, what?
It was happy for her. She hangs out with the dudes, and she's one of the guys. She plays football. She's a professional football player. Was a professional football player. And so she is, again, one of the tomboys. She's one of the guys. And I think they look out for her like brother and sister. And I think she has good quality, good personality. I think she could help Justin. Help Justin a lot in their relationship because she is strong. He's kind of sensitive but kind of strong. He's kind of in between. I think she is really gonna have to be careful how she talks to him because her friends. That's one thing. When her friend said like,
you need to work on your delivery.
You need to work on her delivery. Her delivery is gonna be straightforward.
And you're gonna need a strong man.
You need a strong man to be able to handle her delivery. So she's gonna deliver it. She's gonna bring it. He's gonna be able to correct in a good way, or be able to handle it when she comes down and say, look, can you not talk to me like that? We saw that even with when they got married. We saw that with the high five situation that we just acted out. She said, look, dog, I don't like high fives. That's corny.
Right.
And he was like, oh, okay, I'll change it.
Yeah, he was like, she said, can you stop high fiving me?
Yeah, so she kind of pumped him right in there.
I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, so, and he took it. So, but...
The one thing I'm going to say about Alexis is, okay, so Justin was engaged before almost married. Alexis has been proposed to 3 times, but never said yes.
And it's 3 different guys, so it's not the same guys. 3 different guys. One was out of high school, one was at college. One was high school, one was college, and I think the one was at the end of her college career, she mentioned. So she proposed 3 different guys, and she just said she wasn't ready. She said what she thought marriage would be wasn't that. And, and we had a question. If a person proposes to you and you say no, is the relationship over? I don't know. Y'all let us know in the chat. If someone proposed to you and you say no, is the relationship over? Should it be over?
Yeah, y'all answer. I had to answer, but
I'm just curious. I don't know. That's a tough question. Is it over?
I told him definitely if you propose to somebody and they say no, one thing it does show is y'all not on the same page. So you might want to question, should I have asked them? Or the other person should be like, why didn't I say yes?
Oh, did you just do it too soon? Maybe, I'm not ready to be at that point yet. It's too soon. Can we wait a little bit? Can we date a little bit longer? Can I get to know you even better? Again, there's different rhymes and reasons, but let us know in the chat box if someone gets proposed to and they say no, is the relationship over? Let us know.
So do we want to complete Justin and Alexis?
Let's complete them.
Okay.
Because
that is the one wedding that we saw.
They need to stop that. As I said this last season, 2 hours and you give me one wedding. And I better get all 4 next week. In 2 hours, we should get all 4 weddings next week. I should get all 4 weddings and the reception next week. There's no reason. We already did the dress thing. We already did the tuxedo thing. Everybody should get married next week. But we only got 1 wedding in 2 hours. Y'all can tell I'm hot. But I'm warm about that thing.
We already talked about the fact that Justin's brother is still apprehensive up until, the day of the wedding. But like we said, they made up from their little tiff. And Donnell was like really emotional. As they prepared to go down the aisle. I want to go back a little bit. They do tuxedo and gown shopping. Yeah. Gown shopping. And so Donnell and Justin's nephews, they went. And so we see Justin's mom, which I said she looks like Donnell.
Right.
And they just... everybody's pretty emotional before they go down the aisle.
But you know one thing, Donnell's emotion is like, you know what, like Mama got to him. You better appreciate your brother, or you better, support him. And I think he does support him. He just don't want to see him fail. He don't want to see it mess up. He don't want to see it get, be bad again. For Justin, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, appreciate it. For Justin, I think Justin has a lot of confidence, and you can see that he's remind me of, remember 5 Heartbeats? My man was the big light skinned dude from 5 Heartbeats. Can't remember.
Oh yeah.
5 Heartbeats. Cat Daddy. He's like a 1970 type smooth type dude, right? That's what he reminds me of. So he got a lot of fun, a lot of energy with Justin. One thing I do want to point out with Justin and Alexis is that, or all the couples from this episode, James Allen made an appearance once again. Alright? Y'all don't know what James Allen is? James Allen is the ring maker, which is not sponsored this podcast or this show, but James Allen is sponsoring Married at First Sight in the rings, and we saw a lot of James Allen on this episode. In fact, they get wedding bands and they get engagement rings.
Yeah, it looked like only 2 of the guys were doing it, but then turns out Justin sent a ring to Alexis before the wedding. It was an engagement ring, and they were like, he'll have the band when at the actual ceremony, and she had a James Allen box, it looked like, too.
Yeah, they give him.
I don't know why she didn't have it out already. But she had to open the box.
So we know now that James Allen is a big sponsor from Stephen Noy. You saw that last season. So that's, guess what? As we mentioned,
that's a whole
no, that's a whole different episode. Be ready for that too. But that whole thing with James Allen is a sponsor of Married at First Sight, so we get to see that again make appearance in season 15. But nonetheless, with Justin, we didn't see, he was a little bit nervous. So he was nervous from his toes all the way up to his neck bone and cheeks and everything, and his chest was breathing a little hard, nervous to see what his wife would look like. Alexis, she got totally distraught when her mama came in the room, and she was crying, crying
and whimpering
like somebody had died.
Squealing.
She was just so emotional that she's ready to get married, or didn't know this day was going to come, and they get to the altar. He's standing up there, and her family's there, and I don't know what y'all. I noticed a lot of things. So I noticed the Caucasian lady in the audience, and she was just so crying and so happy.
She was.
The
one thing I want to say is when he came out, either her friend or her sisters, because her bridesmaids were her 2 sisters, and she's the youngest of 3. Let me add that in. And her parents. Her parents divorced when she was 18. Like, they just stayed together for the kids. And when she turned 18, they got divorced. And she said all of them were like, finally. Good gosh. What were you doing? Yeah. But anyway, so, but her 2 sisters and her friend, one of them was like, ooh, he's tall. She's going to like that.
Yeah, she said, Alexis, when she saw him, when they sat down to talk after the wedding, like, 6'8" is too much. She like, yo, 6'8" is like, that's a lot. I want somebody tall, but good gracious, 6'8".
How you gonna, I mean, that's all she kept saying. I want somebody tall. I want somebody tall. I want somebody tall. And then you get somebody tall, and it's like, oh, it's 6'8" too much.
Yeah, no, 6'8" is. Yeah, she wants someone 6'8". Hey, but they vows. They get to the wedding. She comes out. He like beautiful. Like, she's beautiful. Thank God.
Oh, he
I thank God.
Stunning. God, you did good.
Yeah. Yeah. He even breaks it down a little bit later. He loves her lips. He loves the complexion of her skin. God did everything for her. He was just happy. I
feel like that was funny. So at first when he was like, when I see my wife, I hope she's caramel complexion. I hope she, got the brown eyes, and she's got, beautiful natural hair. And then when he saw her, he was like, I'm so glad she got the pretty dark skin. I was like, dude, that's not what you just said. But okay. I feel like Justin would have been happy with anything.
This thing is dark chocolate with darker caramel.
No, caramel is caramel.
But he wants
milk and dark chocolate are not caramel.
Got it.
But anyway, so yeah, during the ceremony, his family shares that he's fun and charismatic and cool. The one thing that I was like, why would you say that? Oh, he can be annoying at times, but he's a sweetheart. And they said, Tree, why is every tall guy, I don't know about y'all out there.
Because trees are tall. Ain't nobody gonna call somebody a skyscraper. Big building.
But no, I don't know.
What else you gonna call it?
Why do we have to call him anything? Why does it have to be tree?
Telephone pole.
Why does it have to be tree?
Light pole.
Why do we have to call him tree?
But she said she wouldn't mind being a branch.
She sure did.
She said, "Call me Branch."
Which is funny because, as a side note, she said he's not really my type, but I can get with it.
Right, because she enjoyed the banter they were having, the conversation that they was doing, and so she enjoyed that. It was funny because she said to told her friends, "I can do funny. I want a funny guy." So she's overlooking his looks for him being funny and
not that he's not good looking. It's just not what she would necessarily go for. But anyway, they said Tree's a good communicator. And you have to share him with another woman. She was like, "Oh, you're a mama's boy." He was like, no, it's my dog. And she was like, I got a dog too. Yeah. I got a dog too.
Which had a little tuxedo. We didn't see that, but we saw the tuxedo hanging up.
Yeah. And her, of course, you know, like they always do, her family shares words. She's a powerhouse. She's intelligent. She's beautiful, filled with faith. Never a dull moment with her. You know, you're going to have to match her fly. And, you know, be prepared for the adventure of your life. And then they shared their vows, and she said, "I'm gonna start with apologies. Basically, I apologize I wasn't there for you before to wipe your tears. I apologize that you had to wait for me, but I'm here now. I wasn't there then, but I'm here now." I was like, oh, I like the way she did that. I liked her vows because he came with the regular. Which I tell you, I wish on Married at First Sight they would not do these kind of vows. I promise to do this. No, I'm gonna try my best.
I'm gonna try my best.
I'm gonna
make it intentional to do this, and
I'm gonna make every effort.
But
I ain't gonna lie to you. It might be sometimes you piss me off.
But she said that in her vows though, it may be sometimes we're gonna get each other noticed. Sometimes we may not like each other, something of that nature. And so she understands that she's going in with an open mind, and he's going. I think they both going in with an open mind that this is good. We're gonna try to make it work. Yeah, we're gonna try to make it work. Regardless of what happens, we're gonna try to make it work. We're not gonna give up at the first time because they don't seem like runners. But she's very competitive. He's been competitive because even when they got together, she was like, "Oh, you want babies? Yeah, I want babies." And she already like D1 athletes, right? She's like, "I'm athletic, you athletic. Like, hey, I'm 6. You know, I'm tall, you tall. Let's do it." She looking to breed.
Yeah, but. They both talked about, you know, having an adventurous time and being time of your life, and they joked, "Oh, we Googled the same thing." But, you know, when they sat down and talked together, you know, they were just like, we really did. We had similar vows. It's funny that,
and she
that we did
what
that.
I did with the Drake lyrics.
Oh, yeah. You know, they both like Drake. And, like we said, when they were talking, he was like, "Oh, yeah, girl. Yeah, girl." And that about that third high five, she was like, "Can you not do that?" I think that's corny. Yeah. Just the way she said it, I know. Like, I had my mouth open. I was like, "Oh, wow." Yeah,
it hurt his feelings a bit, but she did. They were holding hands, and she was rubbing the top of his knuckles
because she was trying to hold his hand down. Give her another high five.
She probably was.
With them, we saw something different that we hadn't seen before. Before they went off to talk, they did a 3-strand cord braiding thing, and they jumped the broom.
But I hope the 3-strand cord, when they was walking out, is not a sign. Because
it came loose.
It came loose. It didn't stay together.
But I wouldn't expect it to stay together because you could tell the material of the ropes. It was slick, and you would have had to. Yeah, you would have. No, you have to do more than tie a knot. She would have had to like put something around it. But anyway,
might be a sign there that they came loose very quickly, just like their relationship.
Don't do that.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Oh, the only other thing I wanted to add was, she literally asked him, "Why are you 6'8"?"
Yeah, he like. You know, but he pointed at his family. My mama 6'1" or something.
No, my grandma was 6'1".
Yeah, grandma was 6'1".
Did you see the man sitting in the wheelchair?
He's 6'11".
He's 6'11", who again looks like the mama and the brother.
But he's a big 6'11". It may grow that.
I mean the height. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna give you that. Like I said,
the looks though.
That's definitely his mama, but I just want to know that anybody else knows that because I was thinking. Were you thinking it? I was.
Yeah, leave a comment in the section below about that too.
I was thinking of it. But anyway, so that's the one marriage, the one wedding that we got. And, of course, we'll go from there next time.
Yeah, next week.
Okay, so let's get back to meeting these couples. So next we had Kristen and Mitch. Kristen's 32, and Mitch is a seasoned 41.
41.
He scares me. I feel like Kristen. He scares me.
Because you have an issue with people who are 40 and not married.
I don't have an issue with, don't say that.
Oh, not
Don't
issue.
say that because we're trying to offend nobody.
With men.
I find it odd.
I find it odd.
And Kristen says that later too. Like, you know, I kind of have a problem with guys that's in their 40s. This is what Kristen said. Kristen said this. They're in their 40s and they never had a serious relationship and they never been married before, don't have any kids. You know, it's like, she was like, what's wrong with you?
Right, because she's 30.
She's 32.
32.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 9-year gap. Big difference.
And it's funny that she would say that because that's exactly what Mitch shares. You know, I haven't had any serious my longest relationships like 2 to 3 years. He's had a lot of 2 to 3 year relationships, nothing longer than that.
Right.
The one thing I'll say is with Mitch, he shared, and I was like, oh gosh. He was like, I got a loud mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he was like, I can be inappropriate.
His jokes, potty mouth. But one thing he does have going for him that he is very committed to his job. He does like what he does. Does like what he do for a living. And that's one thing she said. She wanted a man. It wasn't about the money, but it was about the man being able to love what he does every day.
But he loves what he does and he's committed to his job. But he confessed that I have had commitment issues in the past.
Yes.
For why, you know, I haven't been in a serious relationship. That's not good. He talked about how his parents got divorced when he was 3.
Mm-hmm.
His brother was like, you know, his brother Matt was like, I mean, he's rough around the edges.
Yes.
But Mitch did share that, you know, even though his parents got divorced, he has an example of a married couple in his brother and his sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother's 2 years older than him, so he kind of looks to them, you know, for example. But he shared with his mom and his sister on a video call with his brother there, you know, that they was getting married. His family was actually excited.
Yeah, it was excited for him. They want him to be around because they know he's nurturing, because he was able to stay at home and take care of his niece and nephew for a year.
Yeah, he said his nieces. Yeah, he said he was a manny.
A manny, yeah.
So he feels like, you know, if I could handle her and take care of her, I know I can handle kids.
So he's looking for kids. Kristen is looking for kids as well. She wants kids, and so they have that in common. But one of the issues I think they may have is, again, I don't want to say it's not money, but he's kind of free spirited. He's really free spirited, and she's kind of more like meticulous and structured. And so I think that may be an issue for them.
The one thing I want to say with Kristen, when she talked to her friends, they were like excited for her, but at the same time they were like, but I just have so many questions. Where's he from? What's he do? You know, it's like you're going into this, you don't know this person's got, you know, so many questions. And she said she's already told her sister and her mom, but she's not gonna tell her. She sits there at the table with her friends and says, I'm not gonna tell my dad till the day of the wedding. They were like, what?
Yo, dog, as a father, I'll be pissed. As a father, I'll be hot. First of all, I may not be in the city, so I gotta fly to the city, and we get down here, and you're gonna tell me, oh, Dad, I'm getting married in a couple hours. To who? What is his name? What does he look like? Is he, you know, what kind of job does he have? Can he take care of you? All these kind of questions.
I don't know none of that, Dad.
Yeah, as a father, you got like me.
I know, and her response would be, I don't know none of that.
As a father, you got million questions because you want your daughter to be taken care of. When you walk her down the aisle and you hand her off to this guy or to this man, you're handing her essentially off like, hey, dog, what I did for her is what I want you to do and take care of. And you don't even know. At least in a regular traditional relationship, you met the guy, you talked to him, y'all had dinner, you took them out back while you shooting your gun, and you know, whatever the case may be, and we had these conversations, and you know, now you just like, whoa. So, and you find out the day before or a couple hours before, as a father, I'm mad at her.
Yeah.
At least give me a heads up on what's going on in the process. And I'm mad at my mother because she ain't let me cue in either. So.
Well, I mean, her parents aren't. Her parents been divorced.
They've been divorced and not together.
When she turned 14.
That's right.
But the other thing I want to add is with Kristen. Kristen was like really almost married. Yeah. She said she spent her life savings on a destination wedding, and 2 weeks before the wedding, she got a call from her fiance's mistress that they've been together for 6 months.
Yeah, dog.
This was her fiance of 5.5 years.
Yeah.
So that last half.
He was sleeping with somebody else.
So,
And she had no money.
yeah.
She had no money. Well, she had no money. She used her savings to
She
buy the
used
dress,
her life savings.
to do the wedding, to do the trip. So her and her friends just went party, all on her.
Yeah, she said we still went on a destination wedding, just no room, and had a good time. And yeah.
Who she got some of her money back? Cause that'd be hot. Every time I see him, it'll be about that business. It'll be.
I
about,
hope she don't see him no more.
I mean, we would be in the neighborhood. It'd be about that business. I see the girl. It'll be about that business.
On site.
It'll be on site. I'm just saying. Not that I'm a violent person, by no means. But whatever her life savings was, you can't get that back.
Well, the other thing that me and my husband talked about is, wait, you spent your life savings? But she did say when she first met him, he was sleeping on the couch
at a friend's house
of her neighbor, which was a friend of his. And
he's talking about major red flag. He went from the neighbor's house to your house.
Well, the red flag is you let me spend my life savings on a destination. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I got this, boo. I got this.
Where your money at?
Oh, I got this, honey. I got this.
No.
And yeah.
No. I don't know how this is going to fare. Because like I said, Kristen said later, a red flag for her was guys in their late 30s and 40s that have never been in love before or had a serious relationship. You know, stuff that worries me. And I get it. I'm like, yeah, what's wrong?
Well, yeah. You didn't have to worry about that problem because we married early.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But anyway. Let's see. So then next we want to talk about Morgan and Binh.
Yeah. Binh. Morgan and Binh.
Binh. Binh is 29 and Morgan is 27. She's strong and independent. Oh boy, is she this gonna be a problem.
Loves to work out, strong, independent, love to work out. Come from Japanese culture and back history. Family used to be samurai warriors. Mom's a little Japanese. She has a very strong personality.
And he's a mama's boy. He's a self-professed mama's boy. I think he just said it. I didn't really get mama's boy vibes so far, except for, he was like, I talked to my mom and any woman that I'm with, I kind of like her to kind of fit like my mom's. My mom's one of the kindest people, like, I talk to her and share with her.
He's very frugal.
Frugal.
Cheap, thrifty, whichever way you want to call it. I can relate to that.
Like, he was looking for change in his own couch.
Cutting coupons. He's a couponer.
He said, even to the point where I only do laundry at this time, not during these hours. I don't use the AC or a heater. I like to travel as long as it's affordable, as I do not want any debt. And I'm not mad at him.
I'm not mad at him, but it's going to be a problem. We say this every year. There's always a couple. It's going to be a problem. Not that she is she like nice things. But they have to be able to communicate when they get together. No,
but the thing for me, it's like that she likes the nice things, but how she's stressed, I like being independent.
Yes.
And what I like to do, because she said, a year and a half ago, everything was like going wrong in her life as far as her relationships, her relationship with her dad, career moves and all like that. And she said, I gained weight. Like, she was like, I was just kind of falling apart. My life was falling apart. But since then, she's regrouped, made career moves. She's healthier. She's happier.
Yeah.
I got out that bad relationship, and I'm just tired of dating. And, like, when she told her friends, that she was getting married, they were like, well, you're going to have to get somebody that can handle you. And I don't know if are you ready to, because you have to let go of some of your independence. Like, you still be you and be independent, but the whole thing about a marriage is you're dependent.
She's doing Muay Thai, and she's doing Muay Thai. She's
in the video games and lifting weights.
I mean, she seemed like a fun person.
She chipped her friend's tooth.
She seemed like a fun person, kickboxing, but she rough, man. And he's going to have to be man enough to be like, hey. And I think he is. They will do a lot of things together. They will have good communication. But I think with them will be the money issue. Because his friends were like, dog, like, you can't, what are you going to get for a birthday? He like, I'll buy her some stock. Dog, you can't come home.
Oh, yeah, I ain't going to buy her a Tesla. I'll buy her some Tesla stock.
You can't come home and bring some stock, right? You got to come home and bring some gifts. If you want some grown man gifts, you better bring some gifts. And the stock ain't going to move her. She can probably get her own stock. So I think they can work based on what I've seen so far. But I think we're gonna be talking about this money issue all season with them.
Me personally, I don't think it's gonna be I think it will be the money thing, but I don't think that'll be the biggest thing.
Okay.
I think it'll be the which is kind of a bad word. I think they were the ones that talked about it. Being submissive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and being accountable to somebody, like, you don't lose your independence. Again, you don't lose your independence when you get married, but there is some codependency. Dependent on that person. Like you're not an individual independent. You could be independent
but you gotta look at the submissive as like a job. When you go to work, you're submissive to somebody, right? Even if you're your own boss or you're your own chief, you're submissive to your vendors or your people that supply your goods or the delivery man who delivers. You're submissive in that sense. So when you're in a relationship with someone and you're married with somebody, there is a give and take, right? Mm-hmm. There's some things that we're gonna submit to one another. Whether I cook, you cook. Whether I drive, you drive, right? We're submitting one another on those aspects. And so they're going to have to find that median and that balance that works for them. Because submissive is not a bad thing, right? Mm-hmm. Being submissive to somebody or being caring for somebody else's need is not a bad thing. I think when people look at the word submissive, I got to do all this. No, that's not the case. Y'all need to have communication. And what does submissiveness look like to you? What does submissiveness look like to me? And let's find that medium ground to find what submissiveness is in our relationship. And I think that's the key that they have to find. Mm-hmm. The balance in their relationship, being submitted. There's nothing wrong with submitting one to another. Nothing.
And so last but not least, we have Nate, who's the hustler with the heart, 34 years old, and Stasia, who is 37.
Boss chick. She's a boss.
That right there, she's older than him?
Yes, she's 37. Yeah. She's the oldest on the besides what's the dude? Mitch. She's the oldest. She's the oldest female. Mm-hmm. She's 37.
And she's a boss lady.
I mean, to the point where she emancipated herself from her parents, from her mom, because she didn't want to move. She lived with a friend. She started her own business. She's into real estate, investment. She makes money. She said, I don't need a man. I want one, but I don't need a man. Mm-hmm. And so, which, again, to me, that's the right mindset. I don't need him, but I want one. And so, what means she's willing to come together. Mom mentioned when they met up about a prenup.
Well, yeah, she said a post-nup.
A post-nup.
Yeah.
Which of course, look, each his own. When you come into this marriage, you may have to sign those things until you get comfortable. Maybe let some things go. That's each his own. Everybody, we'll talk about that later, but that's everybody's own relationship thing. What you do,
I feel like, I understand the mom's premise because she was like, you're established, you got this going on or whatever, so I understand why she asked about a post-nup, but I feel like you would have to be the cruddiest, low down dirtiest, scum of the earth, married at first sight husband to try to get something from her if y'all don't stay together after the 8 weeks. Really?
Well, they make them sign prenups anyway coming into the show.
Yeah, but
so if you don't know, they sign prenups coming in here because they know it may not last 8 weeks and you're not going to get anything. So if it lasts longer than 8 weeks, then that's something that her and Nate will have to discuss. Like, what we're going to do? Because he's a hustler as well. He's not coming in broke.
No.
Right? He's a day trader and got some other hustles on the side, so he's coming in with money as well. So it will be interesting to see these two in their dynamic, how they're going to handle the money situation because they're both coming in with money. It's not like it's who's a couple from Houston, Gil and Mirla, right? where Gil didn't have had a little bit and Mirla had a lot, and they couldn't come together on that sense. So they both have some income, and he's a hustler, she's a go-getter. They're both ambitious. I think this couple could be passionate. I think they could work out if they can get past each other's. I don't want to say looks because I don't want that sound so. They can get past each other
and not looks in a bad way.
Looks in a bad way, yeah. They can get past each other's status.
The physical attraction.
Yeah. They get past the physical attraction and get down into the meat of who each one of them are. I think this couple can work. But they have, on paper, they look great. They got everything lined up, whereas the job, the career, the hustles, she doesn't mind someone being sexual. He very sexual, right? He told the stripper chick to get down on her knees and he blew whipped cream in her mouth. All right? Which, I don't know. Dog, he just don't.
I'm sorry. Why you right there?
He was very forceful.
Get down on your knees now. Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, it was not very appropriate.
If I was a I'd be like, bro, they're not paying me that much to be taking no orders from you in all this light. But he shared with his friends that he was getting married, and you know, they were happy. They were happy for him.
Yeah.
He said his friends are his family there. He's got a small family anyway, and none of them are in the area. So, you know, he really wanted his friends to be accepting of the way that he's chosen to go. They talked about the fact that he's got a lot of female friends, and do you think that's going to be an issue? And he was like, you know, if she's not with it, it will be an issue for me. But even anybody in their right mind, you can have your female friends, especially coming into this process. It'd be dumb for me to tell you cut your female friends off. Like, I don't know you that well. But at the same time, you also have to know that when you get married, if you have, and this is married at first sight, but mostly, especially the traditional way you get married, you won't be able to have all your female friends like you did before.
You gotta have a balance. I mean, I think there's gonna be a balance. We talked about this with Virginia and Eric a couple seasons ago, right? The Atlanta season. You're going to have a balance between your female friends and your wife, right? You should be able to introduce your female friends to your wife, and they should be able to converse. But you shouldn't be hanging out all hours of the night with your female friends and not home with your wife. There should be a balance. And I think that's the balance he needs to find in their relationship when they get to that point. You know, we'll see when they get married how it shares and how the sparks will take off.
And I'm going to say this, because he threw this in there. He said it like real quick. And if you weren't listening, you might didn't catch it. He said, his issue before it's been hard for women to get over his past. That's been a problem. And he kept on talking about other. I was like,
Yeah, so I mean, he was out there. He was out there. I mean, he was out there with a lot of women. He was out there hustling. He was out there being. You remember he said he slept in his car a couple times. So a lot of things in his past that he's done and he's not pleased about. And so when you talk to him about that, that comes out. That comes out. And so some women can't handle that. Oh, you this. And some women can't be the fact that you're a hustler and one day you up, one day you're down. We talk about the life of the entrepreneur, right? Mm-hmm. The life of the entrepreneur, some days some months and years, you're fine, you're flying, everything's good. And when it doesn't go well, you're down. And you're going to have to find the next sale or the next fix or the next whatever case may be to get yourself back up. And so he talks about, when he mentioned that, I was just thinking about the whole aspect of his life, not necessarily with just women. Mm-hmm. Because you're like, yo, some people can't handle my past. My past is that, you know, I'll be doing well for a while and then I fault. Or I don't have the money. So it becomes managing money. Now, Stasia, on the other hand, looks like she doesn't play. She don't play about that money. She don't play about the way she looks. Again, she said she want a man. She doesn't need a man, but she will want a man. And so that's one of the things that we're going to see how can they complement each other. Pastor Cal really thinks this couple can work, and they can be a power couple. Mm-hmm. From what he said in the vignette, only time would tell. The way he was performing or acting at the bachelor party, to me, is he is very much like the attention of women. Mm-hmm. And I wonder how that can play out in their relationship. She said it doesn't bother her unless there are boundaries. They can't cross certain boundaries.
Right.
So they need to. There's two things for this couple that I look for in the season. They need to set boundaries about relationships, and they need to set boundaries or issues how they're going to handle their money moving forward. Mm-hmm. Because they both make money, and how we're going to handle this money moving forward. That works for them. Because it may work for them that they have two different bank accounts and have an account together. That one works for them. It don't work for everybody, but what works for them.
The only other thing I want to add when we talk about we talked about the bachelor party, where Nate was just a little bit out of control for us. The ladies had a funny conversation. They talked about red flags. We talked about what Kristen said about, you know, older guys. Why haven't you been married or whatever? Morgan's thing was, you know, is it a deal breaker if he doesn't want to travel? Remember, she's matched with Binh, who'll travel, but he wants to do it within the budget. Kristen talked about how she wants somebody passionate about work, and then they had a conversation about, well, what would you do if he was uncircumcised? I said, do they give them these questions? Like, who asked that? You know, what do you do if he's uncircumcised? And Kristen was like, you got a turtleneck, let's go. Alexis funny. I believe this is probably most people's experience. Alexis was like, I never seen that.
No, she's never seen it.
She's like, I think I'd be scared. I'd be like, what's going on?
A lot of population, in my opinion,
in the United States.
In the United States, I would think will be circumcised.
Yes, for the most part.
In the United States, I would think most people would be that way. But
for the most part, it is. But that's why I was like,
where did that question come from? I don't even think that. When I heard the question, I'm like, who asked that question?
Right.
And a group of people, why would you even ask that question? Like, you married for 8 weeks. What you gonna tell them to do? Hey, dog, don't touch. I mean, I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird question.
So the weird thing for the guys was the stripper thing with Nate, and this conversation with the ladies. I'm like, wow.
I think this season will be interesting. I'm not giving any couple picks or couple none of that until we get all the couples married and we'll go through all that. Just based off seeing it, I think some of the matchups, to me, you can already see red flags where they're not going to work. And we'll be surprised. I will say this. I guarantee you they won't go 5 for 5. I can say that.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I would say this. Based on their appearance,
yeah,
I figured Alexis would be, okay with Justin when she first saw. Right. I knew Justin would like her. I think Binh and Morgan, it'll be the same thing. I think Nate and Stasia, it'll be the same thing.
Oh yeah.
I think Mitch and Kristen.
I think now
one of them is not gonna like the other.
Since he shaved his head, he's fully bald. I think she's gonna like him.
I don't know.
I think when she finds out his age, that's gonna be the issue.
Yeah, I think Lindy and Miguel, they might be okay when they see each other.
They'll be okay when they see each other.
But so just off the rep for that, I think, because God knows we just had the other season when they saw one was like,
yeah,
even though they never said it straight up, never ever.
All these couples make it past the honeymoon. They all moving together, in my opinion. They all moving together. I don't think we get another Alyssa.
We can't.
We can't get another Alyssa.
We can't.
We can't. Hey, but let us know what you think about this, what you saw so far of Married at First Sight. Leave the comment in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Make sure you share this with everybody else. We are back for season 15 of Married at First Sight. Trying to get a panel back together again, but we won't do the panel again until after all the weddings are completed.
Yep.
So when all the weddings are completed, we'll come back with a panel discussion, which you'll probably see on Sunday afternoon on our channel. So, again, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification, and we'll catch you guys a little bit later.
Bye.